Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the HK45, which is the latest incarnation of HK's full-size combat pistol. This is a more practical size to carry. I know a lot of people tuned into the Mark 23 video and thought that I was saying that was a great gun for concealed carry or something like that, but it's not. This would be a more practical size, and this would be what HK offers the average person who wants to carry a full-size gun. Okay guys, I just wanted to take a minute here and kind of go through a brief timeline of how we got to the HK45. A while back, and you may remember this gun from a different review, the Mark 23 was developed. This was a absolutely top-of-the-line, super sophisticated semi-automatic pistol developed for the Special Forces. And what came out of this for civilians was the USP. The USP is a phenomenal gun. Until the HK45 came out, I would say this is my favorite handgun. Right now, the only USP that I have is this match, which is a little different than a standard USP, but it is a very, very nice gun. But it had a lot of features that came off the Mark 23, the HK mag release being right at the back of the trigger guard, really nice trigger, hammer fired, you know, all the features that you got in a Mark 23, just a little simplified package for the more civilian or police market, and it was, you know, smaller than a Mark 23. So then what they did is they worked with Ken Hackathorn and Larry Vickers and came up with a more streamlined, less blocky, more compact gun. And they basically, one of the things they changed the most was the grip. The grip on this thing is absolutely amazing. It just sticks to your hand. Probably for a polymer pistol, the only one that I've ever picked up and just felt like it was just an extension of my hand. The grip on this thing is so amazing. And the back straps come off and can be changed, but the way they do it is a little bit different than like a Glock or a Smith & Wesson M&P. It really fits the web of your hand deeper and just makes the gun feel a lot better. But they did a couple things. They got ambi slide releases now. This particular model doesn't have an ambi safety, but they make them with ambi safeties. And of course, one thing that I liked that they did a lot was with the Mark 23, the mag release is fairly large. When they went to making the USP, they shrunk it, and it's still easy to hit, but it's a little smaller, a little bit harder to hit. When they made the HK45, they increased the size again, actually to the point where it's bigger than the Mark 23, and this works great. Right-handed, left-handed, however you want to hit it, it works really, really nice. Even being a right-hander, you can take your finger off the trigger for a second and hit it, or you can hit it with your thumb. Either way you want to do it, works really, really well. But overall, just a streamlined package. Another thing that they did to increase accuracy is with the standard USP, and this is a match and the targets are all the way at the back, but with a standard USP, the rear target is set forward just a little bit. They've pushed it all the way to the back to increase accuracy, so you get a longer sight radius, makes it a little bit more accurate. And of course, as with all of these guns, it's got polygonal rifling and the HK O-ring, which locks the slide up for just a second when the gun goes back into battery, you know, keeping the barrel on target for just another second longer. Another couple things they did to the HK45 that weren't in previous models, mainly the USP, was they've got a standard Picatinny rail on the bottom of it now, which is nice because with the USP you always kind of had to buy an adapter to put whatever thing you wanted underneath of it, unless you bought a light or a laser directly from HK, which was usually pretty expensive. And they got front cocking serrations on it, which helps out a little bit. A lot of people like that a lot. For me, I'm always grabbing the back of the gun anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay guys, back in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, the American government had a program called the Joint Combat Pistol Program, which was a program where the American government wanted to essentially replace Beretta M9s with a .45 caliber gun. They wanted to go back to the .45. I guess they thought it was a better man stopper. The program eventually got canceled because they decided it would cost too much money to replace all the Beretta M9s that were in service. But several very interesting guns were developed because of the program, one of those being the Heckler Koch 45. The gun was primarily developed for that program, but has since been made commercially available, and actually some militaries and law enforcement agencies have picked it up as their primary weapon. But I want to talk second for the other front runner in the Joint Combat Pistol Program was the FNP 45 Tactical. This gun, as it is shipped to the civilian, demonstrates basically all of the features that was necessary in the Joint Combat Pistol Program. The barrel had to accept a suppressor, and you can buy a threaded barrel for your HK45, but at least to my knowledge, you can't buy one directly from HK with one already installed. But the FNP 45 Tactical comes with one threaded barrel, right from the factory, and comes with sights that look over a suppressor, which I thought was kind of neat. Another thing that the American government wanted was for all the guns to have night sights. These are Trijicon tritium night sights that come on the FNP 45, which I like a lot. I've heard that tritium is considered a radioactive element, which it is a radioactive element, but it's considered illegal in Germany. So these kind of have these weird kind of glow-in-the-dark sights, which are still good sights, but they're not quite like the ones that come on the FNP 45 Tactical. The other thing where I think my biggest complaint about an HK 45 and where the FNP 45 Tactical just crushes it is magazine capacity. The old HK USPs held 12, and the new HK 45 only holds 10, which 10 is still a good number of 45s, but when you look at the FNP Tactical, it holds 15, which is a monstrous number, because if you've got 15 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber, you've doubled the capacity of a 1911. So there's a whole lot of firepower in your hand. And the FNP 45 Tactical feels good in your hand. It's a nice gun, but overall on ergonomics and everything else, I have to give it to the HK. Like I said, it just feels like it's an extension of your hand. It feels so perfect. I wish that my only 2 complaints about this gun, one is magazine capacity. I wish they'd come out with a higher capacity magazine than 10, and the sights, which sights can be changed out at any time. But I did just want to compare those 2 guns briefly, and like I said, I choose the HK 45 over the FNP basically because of the grip. It just feels so good in your hand. Hey guys, I just want to talk a second about the accuracy of the HK 45. For a service pistol, this gun is amazingly accurate. It's going to be much more accurate than your Glocks or M&Ps or anything else that you might compare it to. It does cost a lot more than those guns, but you do get what you pay for. It has the same advancements in technology that started in the Mark 23 were carried through the USP, but what it is it's the HK O-ring system. after you fire, as the bullet starts to leave the barrel, the slide will come back and it will lock up for just a second on this little rubber O-ring. And what that does is it holds the slide and the barrel together for one more second to make sure that the bullet has left the barrel completely on target, you know, where you put it. So and HK also has polygonal rifling, which they say makes the gun more accurate, but it definitely increases barrel life for sure. But you know, they've taken everything they've learned from previous models and put it in this one, and I think it is a very, very good pistol. But like I said, that O-ring just locks it up for just a second and then lets the bullet leave the barrel completely before the gun goes back. You also notice the barrel doesn't go into battery as much as it does in some other guns. The barrel can't quite as much as it does in other guns.
There you go.
Did it look like anything?
Yeah.
Guys, one more thing I wanted to mention about this gun that I think is just kind of neat is the grip angle on this gun is exactly the same as a grip angle on a 1911. And the grip is so slim that when you grab it, it kind of reminds you of a 1911. I've heard some people refer to this as the Polymer 1911. Hey guys, hope you've enjoyed our HK45 video. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Alabama Arsenal out.